Hi, I'm Gabriel, and this is Learning English Path. And in this lesson, I'm going to teach you the hero's journey, part 4, supernatural aid. Supernatural aid is part 4 on the hero's journey. And in this series, we are learning English on the hero's journey. So each of these lessons focuses on English language that is relevant to that particular stage of the hero's journey. Now, before we continue with this lesson, I just do want to remind you that if you like the video, please give it a like, because it really does help this channel to grow, and it helps me to create more lessons for learners like you. And subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss the rest of this series, or you don't miss any of the English lessons that I create on this channel. And there are a lot of good ones, and there are going to be many more good ones coming up after this. Okay, so before we go into supernatural aid, remember, we're going to review the previous lesson. Okay, so if you haven't seen the previous lessons on the hero's journey, I do recommend you go back and you check those out before venturing in too much to this journey, to this part of the journey, okay? So if you remember part 3, we looked at refusal of the call, right? So here are a few questions to refresh your memory to make sure that you have learned that language, right? Because there's not much point in going further along this journey if you haven't been studying what we've already done, right? So the first question I have is fill in the blank here. So not for all the in China. What's the missing word there? I'll let you pause the video. Okay, so what's the answer? Not for all the tea in China, right? We use that phrase when we want to say, definitely not. I'm not doing that. Not even if you give me all the tea in China. I'm not doing it, right? All right. The next question I have is, if someone asks you, let's say, to go out somewhere and you don't want to, so your response is, I'm going to give it a, okay, what's the answer? The answer is, I'm going to give it a pass. Okay, I'm going to give it a pass. So not this time, maybe next time, but probably never. Okay, so the next question, it's someone's name is in this particular expression, okay? No way! Whose name is it? No way! Okay, the answer is no way, José. And remember, it could be considered rude, okay? It depends where you live. All right, the next one. This is the last review question, okay? So if you want to say no to something again, maybe someone offers you a plate of food and it doesn't look very good to you. You don't want to eat it. Well, you might say, thanks, but... Okay, the answer is thanks, but no thanks. All right, that's a common expression in America. You can also use it in the UK, but it's very common in America, especially. So supernatural aid, what is this? Now, before I teach you what this means, it is important to note that this was one of the stages on Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. But if you ask the average person today who knows about the hero's journey, they will most likely not say that supernatural aid is one of the stages. And this is because when the hero's journey was popularized for today's audience by Christopher Vogler in his book The Writer's Journey, he modified the stages and renamed this stage Meeting the Mentor. So they are basically the same stage, but the two terms, supernatural aid and meeting the mentor, mean very different things. So I'm going to talk about what each of the names of the stage mean. But first, supernatural aid. So if you don't know what the word aid means, it means help. So if you aid someone in doing something, then you are helping them to do something, right? And supernatural, let's break this word down. So what is the natural world? The natural world is the world that we understand to be the limits of physics, right? So, for example, in the natural world, human beings cannot fly, right? Not to our knowledge, anyway. And so if you look at someone like Superman or Superwoman, right? They can fly. So they are supernatural because they are beyond what is considered to be natural within the laws of physics. So this would be an example of a supernatural being, right? Superman or Superwoman. And supernatural aid, therefore, means for the hero to be helped in some way by a supernatural being or a supernatural thing, right? Maybe it's not a living being. It could be something else that's still supernatural. So this is what it means. And meeting the mentor, that, like I said, it's the same stage, but not necessarily involving supernatural powers. So meeting the mentor just means when you meet someone who is able to teach you in some way, right? Mentor is a teacher. So you can have many mentors in your life, and we're going to look at those. So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you 10 superpowers and 7 kinds of mentors. All right, so you learn a lot in this lesson. All right, so let's start with the superpowers. Okay, I'm getting excited about this. So 10 supernatural powers. We will start with number 1, regeneration. What is regeneration? That is, let's say that you have been shot, right? Someone shot you. Then if you have the superpower of regeneration, you can suddenly heal your wound, okay? So you can heal and regenerate your cells very, very quickly, okay? So it's like a natural healing ability. A natural ability to regenerate the cells in your physical body. So this is a powerful supernatural power, right? Oh, and I would like for you, after I tell you all of these 10 superpowers, leave me a comment and tell me which one you would like to have. All right, so that's the first one, regeneration. The second one, invisibility. Invisibility. if you have the power of invisibility, this means that you can make yourself so that nobody else can see you. So maybe you want to go somewhere and you don't want anyone to see that you went there, then you can make yourself invisible so that nobody sees you, not even cameras. Okay, nothing can see you. That's invisibility. All right, the third one is invincibility. Okay, so don't confuse these two. We've got invisibility and invincibility. And invincibility is you cannot be hurt. Okay, so this is a little different from regeneration, right? If you have the power of regeneration, that means that you can heal yourself after you get hurt. But invincibility means that when someone shoots you, the bullet doesn't even go into your skin. It does not penetrate you, right? You are invincible. Nothing can hurt you, okay? The fourth one, telekinesis. Telekinesis. This is where you can make something move with your mind, okay? So let's say that I have a phone here, and the phone is on a table, and I just have to look at the phone, focus on the phone, and make the phone come up and come towards me. And I don't have to go over there and pick it up. Okay, that's telekinesis, to make something move with your mind. Number 5 is telepathy. If you have the superpower of telepathy, this means that you can, with your mind, go in to another person's mind and read their mind. So you know what someone else is thinking, okay? There are different kinds of telepathic powers as well. It can be a telepathic power where you go and you know what they are thinking, but also you might be able to even put something into their mind, right? So think thoughts into their mind so that their mind suddenly says something and they don't necessarily know that it's you that put it there. Okay, so that's a dangerous superpower. Okay, telepathy. The next one is precognition. Now, precognition just means where you suddenly see the future, or you get a glimpse into the future. So maybe you see something happening and it hasn't happened yet. That's precognition. The next one is called shapeshifting. Shapeshifting is where you can change your body, all right? And this is much more than just regeneration. This means, right, so I'm a human being, but maybe my power is to shapeshift into a lizard, okay? Or shapeshift into a cat, all right? It's when you can turn your body into different things. Or maybe I can shapeshift into another human being's body, right? So I can make myself look like another person. This is shapeshifting. The next one is enhanced strength. So this is where you have an incredible amount of strength, which is supernatural for a human being to have. So humans can become very, very physically strong, but look at people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dwayne Johnson, right? You've got these super strong people, and perhaps they have pushed the limits of what we previously understood to be natural. So it's supernatural in that we don't consider that amount of strength to be natural for a human. All right, the next one is omnilingualism. Omnilingualism. This means you can understand and speak all the languages. Okay? So if you know of linguistics is the study of language and the study of the structures of language, right? Where language came from. All of this is linguistics, right? So think about that part of the word. Omnilingualism means to know all the languages. So would you like to have this superpower? All right, the last one is instant learning. If you are able to learn something instantly, so maybe all you need to do is pick up an English grammar book and touch it, and then in 1 second, you learn all of English grammar. Or maybe you can just touch a person who speaks English and know the language immediately, right? This is supernatural. So this is instant learning. And you might think, well, wouldn't it be great to have these superpowers, instant learning or omnilingualism? But let me ask you this, wouldn't that take away the fun of the process of learning English or learning anything? I think it would. I think it would be a shame if we didn't go through the process of learning something, because that, to me, is part of the joy of life. So, that's why I called this channel Learning English Path, because I love the path, and I hope you do too. But anyway, tell me what your favorite superpower is below in the comments. Okay, 7 types of mentors. Now remember, a mentor is a teacher, and we have many different kinds of teachers in our lives. Now, I'm not just talking about, you have an English teacher, a history teacher, a maths teacher. Those are not the kinds of teachers I'm talking about. What I mean is that in our lives, we form so many different kinds of relationships with different people. And very often, we can learn from this relationship, or we can learn directly from the person who we form a relationship with. And when we learn from them, they are a mentor in our life. And you can work together with someone on this, right? So maybe you can mentor them in something and they mentor you in something. So here are the seven different types of mentors. The first one is the inspiration. Okay? The inspiration. And the great thing about this kind of mentor is that you don't even have to know them personally. So what this kind of mentor does is inspire you to do something in your life, to live a different kind of way, or to learn something. So you just have to look at this person and look to see what they are doing and be inspired. And when you feel inspired by them, then you take action in your own life, right? This is a kind of mentor, all right? And we could all use this kind of mentor in our lives. Now, it could be someone you know personally, and it could be that you talk with them and they inspire you in some way to get going with something in your life, okay? That's mentor number 1. Mentor number 2, I call the Encyclopedia. Now, an encyclopedia is a big book or many, many books with lots of information. Okay, that's where the website Wikipedia got its name. Okay, originally it was from this word encyclopedia, right? So an encyclopedia in this sense is a person with a lot of knowledge on something. So you can go to this person and ask them anything about a certain subject. Maybe it's anything about the English language, and they will be able to tell you the answer because they are an encyclopedia. And in this sense, they are a teacher. They are a mentor, right? Someone you can go to for guidance in your life because they have so much knowledge, right? Okay, number 3 is the cheerleader. The cheerleader. So literally, the word cheerleader is, if you've ever seen a movie or a sports game, an American football game, right, from the NFL or NBA, also they have them, where you've got those girls who are dancing around, right? And what they are doing is they are cheering on their team, right? So their job is to make the crowd start cheering louder for the team so that the team performs better, right? So the cheerleaders are there to get you pumped up and to say, you're the best, or we are the best. So a cheerleader in the sense of a mentor is someone who will tell you positive things, who will cheer you on and say, come on, you can do it. All right. That's this kind of mentor, is someone who will literally tell you, you can do it. Go for it. Okay. That is a cheerleader mentor. Number 4 is the kind of the opposite of that. And that is the challenger. So whereas the cheerleader is all positive, right? All you can do it. The challenger is someone who looks you in the eye and says, are you sure that you can do this? Okay? Or someone who will get you to think about your weaknesses. So the challenger might be very harsh with you, might give you some very rough advice that will make you feel not so good. But they are not doing this to bring you down, ultimately. They are doing this to really bring you into the truth of where you are weak and what you can do better, so that you work on that and become a better version of yourself, right? Improve those weaknesses. So the challenger will point the weaknesses out to you. And it's your job after they do that to work on those weaknesses, right? That can be a very valuable kind of mentor, the challenger. Number 5, the connector. The connector you can think of as someone who connects you with either other people or valuable information. Maybe they connect you to books, right? They tell you what books you should read, or they tell you who to talk to, or they tell you, or that they introduce you to someone who will be very valuable in your life. So this person is good because it's not that they are an encyclopedia in that they have the knowledge, it's that they know where the knowledge is and they know who you should talk to. Maybe they're very good at networking people together, right? This is a very valuable kind of mentor because it can get you to the people you want to talk to quicker, or the information you need can give you a shortcut to that information. Okay? Speaking of shortcuts, mentor number 6 is called the hack. Now, what is a hack? There are different definitions for this word hack, but I remember when I was a boy growing up and the internet was just starting to kick off, just starting to become a thing. There were these people called hackers, and hackers who exist today still, obviously. Hackers could get into other people's websites or other people's information, and they could find information on the internet or add information to someone's website or do all sorts of things, right? And this person was called a hacker because they could hack their way into a system, right? And so this word caught on in the health industry, actually. And so people started saying they could hack their bodies, hack their biology by doing different things, right? Eating a different way or sleeping a different way or doing things differently. They could hack the way their body worked. And so now a person who is called a hack is someone who is able to find a shortcut into something, into some kind of system. So if you start a new job somewhere and you meet one of these mentors called a hack, they could maybe tell you how to get things done faster, right? There's the system that your trainers have told you about, but the hack knows little secrets that can really be shortcuts into finding easier, quicker, simpler ways of doing things. Okay, so you become more efficient at doing things, right? So that's a pretty good mentor to have too, the hack. And finally, we have the coach. Now, the coach may be the most important mentor on this whole list. The coach is someone who asks you questions, who gets you to ask questions about yourself and gets you to look inside yourself for the answers. The coach is not going to give you the answers, okay? Where the encyclopedia gives you all the answers, the coach gives you questions. All right? Where you have the cheerleader and the challenger who give you the positive sides and the negative sides of what you're doing. The coach will simply give you the question. And where the inspiration will show you what they do, the coach isn't going to show you what they do. The coach is going to get you to find your own way, right? And, so the connector and the hack, they have their own ways of getting you quicker to information or to people or different quick ways of doing things. The coach will not make it an external thing. It will make it a much more internal thing, right? This is a coach. This is a real coach. All right. So all of these kinds of mentors are valuable in your life. I try to do all of these things, okay? I try to help you in all these ways. I try to be an inspiration. I try to be an encyclopedia. I try to be a cheerleader. Okay, you can do it. I try to be a challenger. Try to make it tough and make you look at your weaknesses too. I try to be a connector, right? Show you different books, different websites, new information, and a hack, right? You might want to check out, for example, my pronunciation hack, and most importantly, I do try to be a coach too, because I want you to find the answers in yourself, because remember, it is your path. This is your learning English path. And this is your hero's journey. So, although I may not be supernatural, I do hope to be your mentor. So, thank you for watching this. Keep going on your hero's journey, okay? Keep watching this series. Remember to subscribe so that you stay in touch and continue to learn English, okay? Keep learning, my friend, and keep going.